Hey, my name's Julian, but I go by Jules, and I've had this channel for several years, but never really tried to build up the content. I just used it to stick some stuff uh, where I could have access to it here and there. And a few people along the way have found some of my drum videos or whatever they are, and or whatever else. And I've wound up with 24 subscribers on the channel, which I think is pretty good considering the fact I've put zero effort into having any subscribers. But anyway, hopefully now that's going to turn around. Uh, a quick backstory about why I'm even doing this. Um, a good old dearly departed friend, we called him Uncle Ed. He used to tell me I should write a book. During the time, the years that I knew him, he was aware of some things that went on in my life and all that, and I usually am pretty good about putting a humorous spin on the most embarrassing of things. And I embarrass myself quite frequently, as you'll come to know. But at any rate, um, I'll probably never write that book. But he suggested I write a book. I might have skipped that part. He told me I should write a book, and you know, I wonder if some way that what I kind of let that egg me on to be more over the top in my life, but I've just always been that way for whatever reason, and so I'm going to use this platform to tell some of those stories. I may talk about things unrelated to myself from time to time. What I'm not going to do is use this channel to get into politics. Um, that's not my intention at all. Not saying I won't have some commentary here and there, but I don't want to be somebody that every time I open my mouth, I'm going to polarize, you know, slightly under half of the country. So anyway, that's as close to being a political person as I'm going to get. So moving this thing right along, I will open up with today's topic. And what it is for today is, first of all, I'm in South Georgia. I live literally less than half a mile from I-75 in Tifton, and it's a beautiful day. And I just felt compelled to go downtown. Tifton is a nice place. I really like it. And the funny thing is, I don't spend a lot of time doing things around town. If I did not live here, if I came here, I would say, if I lived here, I would come downtown in the afternoons and enjoy the sunsets and watch people walk by and do all this. And yet here I am, and I don't do any of it. So, what about you? What would, if you didn't live where you are and you saw where you live, what would you think you would probably spend your time doing that you don't do now? You don't even have to put that in the comments. I'm just trying to make a point that, you know what, we've all got beauty and things of nature around us and all that we could put some of our attention and quit focusing so much on the things that drive us nuts. So decide to go downtown. I get down there just after 11, and I decide to go eat. And I went to the Local Graze. And if you are from Tifton and are not familiar with the Local Graze, it's pretty much across the street from Don Julio's. And Don Julio's is well enough known that anybody from Tifton or that spends much time in Tifton will know right where that is downtown. So anyway, I go in there, and what's interesting about this place is that looking at the menu and the food, you would assume this was a pretentious place. Um, but it's not. Everybody's real down to earth, which is perfect for me because um, it's like with what I got. I'll come back to that, but um, I don't like going to pretentious places. I'm just not highbrow enough for that. I'm just a regular old kind of a country boy, kind of not, um, just down to earth, and I'll embarrass myself. So I don't, it doesn't do for me to do too much upscale stuff. So looking at the food and the quality of food and all that, you would think that it was a little bit more high end than it really is. So I go in there, and I'm the only customer in the place, and the server, the lady behind the counter, whatever the proper name is, I asked her what her recommendations were. And I usually will follow their recommendations. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I'll just tell them to pick out whatever their favorite is, or whatever. Don't even tell me what it is. Just bring it to me. And that's led for some very interesting things over the years. And maybe some of that we'll touch on another day. But she made some recommendations. And then I saw they had a charcuterie board. And I'm like, you know what? Let me get that. That's usually good. So here it is. And I'm going to pull it up on my phone while I'm talking because I can't actually see it while I'm doing this. So they bring me this, and you know, how many crackers are there? There's two cookie looking things, and I think four or five crackers. I see five crackers. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not sophisticated enough to know how to properly eat this. I mean, I know how to put some things on crackers and eat them, but aside from that, have I got to scoop them up with a little wooden shovel? Um, can I eat it with my fingers or what? You know, I posted that on Facebook and or a little bit of that, and even mentioned it to one of the lady that may be one of the owners or the owner, and she said, "Oh, don't worry about it." So I'm sitting there by myself with this board full of delicious food and enjoying peace and quiet, and all of a sudden, here's everybody in downtown Tifton forming a line. Now I'm the only person in this place with food, and I've got this colorful, vibrant looking charcuterie board, and everybody's looking at it and me. So here I am trying to be inconspicuous while I, eat this thing probably improperly. And now I feel like one of those people on the reaction channels. You ever watch that where they have their reaction videos? They're watching a concert from 1979. So you're seeing the concert, and then over in the corner you're seeing them, and they don't just sit there and take the concert in. Some of these guys, it's like they have to facially, through facial expression, they have to react to this and that, and you can tell they know they're being watched, and that's not how they would actually sit there and act as they watch something on their own. So I felt like that. I'm like, well, do I sit here and put on a show and try to make it look like this is really great? And hey, y'all ought to have all, or can I just sit here in peace and quiet while I feel like I'm being stared at? And am I being paranoid? Probably. Did I have as many eyes on me as I probably felt like I did? Probably not. But it was funny to me. It was actually humorous to me that I go in there and I'm trying to be nonchalant about, using my fingers and all this stuff and not having as many crackers as I would have preferred. I probably could have had a whole sleeve of crackers and just kept piling stuff on crackers. So a lot of times I get amused with myself simply because I feel like a fish out of water with something. And today was one of those days. So the purpose of this video, since this is the first one I'm doing, I'm kind of making a little bit of fun of myself. Also wanting to plug a fantastic place to eat downtown. I don't even remember what I had last time. I do know that I had cheesecake for dessert, and I think this was mid-year last year. And I said, what toppings? And she said strawberries, and strawberries is not my favorite. And I said, is there any way y'all might find some blackberry? Oh yeah, we'll put some blackberries on there. So, as you see in the picture, they had blackberries on my tray today. I love blackberries, especially on sweets like a cheesecake. So if you're in the Tifton area and you want something different and really good to eat, go down there to the Local Graze. I would tell you to tell them I sent you. They won't have a clue who I am. Although the waitress, the server, the lady behind the counter kept referring to me as Julian. She took my name for the order. And as I'm walking out, she said, have a good day, Julian, or something to that effect. And I really like that personal touch that she went through the trouble, even with all those customers there. She still, off the top of her head, remembered my name. Now, she also did earlier in the visit threaten to chase me down the street, which was tempting to me because I haven't been chased and I don't know when. And that would have been a nice change up to things. Let me tell you one more thing about this visit. I'm going to try to put a funny spin on this for you as I wrap it up. I get done eating and I don't see garbage cans around there. And this is a no tipping place. Apparently, they paid their staff well. You're not allowed to tip. So um, I'm looking around for, okay, well, where do I put my tray? Or maybe they'll come get my tray. And I'm sitting there and I literally sat there for a while waiting for somebody else to leave so I could watch and see if they left their tray or if there was somewhere to go put the tray that I didn't see. And lo and behold, a couple of tables down from me, totally out of the only area in the whole place that was out of my view is a garbage can with the piece on top for the tray itself. And so I sat there until I knew what to do, because I'm a guy. We don't ask for directions. We don't ask for anything. Yeah, right. But when it really counts, we don't ask for help. And so I had to sit there for that. And you know what? I'll sit here and laugh at myself as quick as I'll laugh at somebody or quicker. And looking back, I just find myself amused with the whole thing. You know, next time I'll probably go get a burger. I know how to eat that. Now I know where the garbage can is. So I won't feel silly having to sit there and stall waiting for somebody else to leave. Well, anyway, I don't know if this has done you any good or not. If you're watching this and you wind up going down there to the local graze, I wish you'd put in the comments once you finished whether or not uh, you recommend the place and whether or not my video here had any impact on you wanting to go at all. I sure hope it does. I hope you'll check out the next few videos. The next video is it's going to be, because I haven't done it yet, so it isn't at all yet. Um, how Discover Card came to find out that I'm dead and what I had to do to undo that. And I think that's going to be an interesting story, and maybe you'll check it out. Maybe you'll like it. But either way, thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.